Hello everyone and welcome to my new YouTube video. I'm Julia and I'm currently an exchange student in Virginia in the United States of America. So it's been now 2 months since I've lived in the US, and in today's video I want to talk about my experience of the flight from Germany to the US. So let's start with the video.
Can't explain. I got a feeling that I can't erase. Just a feeling that I won't leave behind, because it's something that it's on my mind. I guess it goes like na na na.
Got ready for the night and
Na 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 na.
she's heading for the lights.
Na 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 na.
She sees the vision going.
Na 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 na.
So my big day, so the day of my departure from Germany, was August the 23rd. So, well, I would say my day started with packing my suitcase. So we had to leave for the airport like in the middle of the night. And I'm always a person, I pack my suitcase just super late. Like when I go to a weekend trip or to a holiday, vacation, whatsoever, I just pack my suitcase the night before, sometimes the day we are leaving. And it was also the case on here. So we had to leave like in the middle of the night, and I was just packing some couple hours before leaving. And I had like the problem, how am I approach the task of packing for like 10 months. Usually when you pack for like a 2-week trip, you kind of know how the weather is going to be. So do I have to bring warm clothing, cold clothing, whatsoever? And I just approached it that way. I went to my wardrobe and just like looked around and just grabbed my favorite clothing, both summer and winter items. And then I went in my head to what are things I use in my everyday life, and also for school. Do I need that pencil case, that backpack, toiletries, whatsoever? And then I packed my suitcase. So I had a big suitcase and I had a little carry-on and a backpack as my hand luggage, and everything fitted perfectly fine. But there was one problem. There is a weight limit, so you can't be over 23 kilograms for the big suitcase and not over 8 kilograms for my hand luggage. And I kind of had the problem that I was way, like both my suitcases, or like my luggage was too heavy. I was like over 10 kilograms over the weight limit for my big suitcase, and I was like, that's not good. I have to leave in some hours. How am I gonna get my stuff ready? So I just opened my suitcase and everything again, and just like, really, do I need that clothes? No, go away, basically. And I put out the heavy stuff, like the books or like toiletries that are just heavy and that I can buy in the States as well, that I don't really need. And then everything was fine. I closed my suitcase again and went to sleep to just get some sleep. But I was just way too excited. I just couldn't fall asleep. Well, I got like 2 hours of sleep. Then my mom knocked on my door and woke me up. And yeah, in the middle of the night, we went to the airport. We went to Nuremberg. And then we went to check in. I got the boarding pass for my first flight from Nuremberg to Frankfurt. So I was at airport number 1. And then when it come to security check, it was finally time to say goodbye to my parents. And there was like mixed feelings, because on the one hand I know I'm gonna miss them. I'm not gonna see them in person for like 10 months, and like I've never been that long without my parents. But on the other hand, I was just so excited and looking forward for the adventure to come. And so I hugged my parents, and when I went to security I was waving at them, and just it was difficult, but not too difficult, because I know I'm gonna have so many cool things waiting for me. So security took place, and then I was on the other side of the airport, and then I had one mission: not to fall asleep, because remember, I was so tired. But I did not fall asleep. I did not miss the boarding. So the boarding took place, and it was an easy flight, just 50 minutes whatsoever. And then I arrived at airport number 2, and I was in Frankfurt. So those of you who've been to Frankfurt know it's a big airport. So I arrived at one terminal and I had to go to the other terminal. And to go from A to B, I had to find a train. So in Frankfurt there's like a little train that you can take to get from one place to another. So I was asking the staff members, hey, where do I have to go, whatever. But I found it, and then I hopped on that plane with all my stuff. Well, my suitcase, no, it was in the big plane, of course, but with my hand luggage. And then I made it to the other terminal, and then I had to get my boarding pass as I'm switching airlines. With my first flight, I was flying with Lufthansa, and then I was flying with American Airlines. So I searched the terminal of American Airlines, finally got my boarding pass on that, and then I made it my way to security. Also, no problems, and as it was in the morning, there were not that many people. Well, it's been more busy than Nuremberg, but it was still fine. So I was on the other side and just waiting on my seat for the boarding to take place, and then the big moment finally came and I entered the big plane. So I was like walking around, looking around, because I've never been to in a big airplane. It was my first transatlantic flight, so I was a bit excited for that as well. Just the flight, I love flying. I think it's just really cool. And then after the security instructions, the actual big moment was like taking place. So we went to the starting line, and like the plane like shaking and the stuff, and then you take off. It was an incredible moment for me, because I've been preparing for that moment for, I don't know, the past 2 years already. And I've done like extra courses in school to be able to participate in there. I was done all the preparation that my organization wanted me to do. I got my visa, everything was ready. I was just waiting for the plane to take off and take me to the States. And also my first transatlantic flight went by really good. So the plane food was good, and I finally had time to sleep. I was just exhausted, and so I just took some rest, listened to music, and yeah, it was good, was relaxed, no problems or anything. And then I arrived in North Carolina in Charlotte. So I hopped off the plane, and then I had to stand in line for to wait for the immigration officer to approve my visa documents. So it was busy, like there were a lot of people waiting in line. It took a while, but I was just happy to have made it to the States. And so I was waiting, and then it was my turn, and I just showed him my documents, and then like, you can go. And so I went, and then I saw my suitcase, and I was excited to see my suitcase, because I was kind of worried that it won't make it to the US, but no problem, it was there. And then I had like to take it again and walk through customs, which took like 20 seconds, and then I gave it back to the staff member of the airport. And then I did the whole procedure again. So I went to security, opened my bags, and like took out the liquids and my devices, and you know how it worked. And then I was on the other side of the airport again, but I just knew I was in the States, because there were like the big America flags everywhere, and everyone all of a sudden started speaking English. So that was a bit not confusing, but I was kind of overwhelmed, because in Germany everyone was speaking German, and I suddenly have to speak English. But no problem at all. So yeah, and I just waited for the final flight to take place, and then the boarding again, and it was like a nice 1-hour flight to Norfolk. And then when I arrived in Norfolk, I was just glad that the whole travel was no problem. There were no delays, no flights got cancelled, so everything was really smooth. And then I saw my host parents. So that was the first time that I've met them in person. We only had like one FaceTime call. And so I was like running towards them and just hugging them, and they were both very welcoming. And my local coordinator was there as well. My local coordinator, she's a staff member of International Experience, my organization, and she's there if I have any concerns or problems, so I can just call her and get in touch with her. And so all the 3 people were welcoming me, and yeah, that was basically my flight. So it was a big day. Like, I mean, as I told you, I've been looking forward to that moment for like the past 2 years, and now it finally happened. And now looking back from today, it's just crazy how fast time flies by. So I've been here for 2.5 months already, and I've done so many cool things. I'm just having a great time. It was one of the best decisions to do the exchange year, and it's just really cool. I just have a great time here, and it's just cool. And also, when I was like on my journey from Germany to the US, I just knew now I'm on my own. So now I have to find my way around in the new environment. My parents from Germany are not here to help me. I'm just now on my own. But it's just so cool, and I'm having a great time. There was the video about the traveling from Germany to the States. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and then see you on my next video. Bye, have a great day.